Text to columns work similar to text split, where you can split one particular field into multiple columns. And here, this text to columns is like a very vast thing. You have various options and various delimiters you can choose uh, to split the columns into multiple. I mean, split the text into multiple columns. So the formula for, I mean, there's no formula, it's like a shortcut. So the shortcut for text to columns will be Alt A E. So the moment you select Alt A E, you'll be getting this particular window where you have this delimited and fixed width. Delimited means it's separated by something, some delimiter, comma, space, bracket, whatever. You have the option in the next sheet. So it can be a tab, it can be semicolon, comma, space, or anything else. You can give anything of your choice in this text to columns. And here you can treat consecutive delimiters as one. For example, if you have two spaces, treat that as one. You can choose that option if you want. And depending on the data, you can choose, like, for example, here it's only space. So I'll just click space. I don't want this. And here I don't want multiple delimiters. So I'm just selecting this. If it is a semicolon or if it's a comma, you can choose depending on the requirement. And columns output, how you want to output, whether it's all general, like it's splitting based on the space, right? It's splitting into three columns. Each column it will ask whether you want the data format to be a general, text, date, or you don't want to import that column only. So you have the option. This is a text, right? So you can just select text, or you can just keep it general also. General works for anything, but if you want to be specific, you can just select text. So click on finish. So Raviteja Grandi is there. It's split into three columns now. Similarly, Ravi hyphen Teja. Let's see for this delimited. It's not space now. It's a delimit hyphen, right? So I'll just type hyphen over here in the others. And now you can see the data preview, how that text to columns is working. Click on next. And again, you can choose general text, whatever is there, you can choose that. And click on finish. Is it fine now? Or you want more? Next option is for dates. If you want to do this, Alt AE, delimited. And now between dates, I have a what you call backward slide. So you can choose the backward slide and you can click next. And now I want this to be a text or this to be a date. And if it's a date, which format? Month, date, year, or date, month, year, or whatever format you want, you can choose it. I'm just keeping it as a text, and even this as a text. If I keep it as general, 11 will be a number. But since I'm choosing text, it will be a text format. It's not a number. And year, I'm skipping it. I don't want to see the year. So now if I click on finish, I can see 11, 29. And if you see the both 11 and 29, it's showing this green dot at the left corner, right? It means it's a text. You have the option, convert to number, or you can just Control C, Control V. Anything works. Or if you don't want to keep it as a text, you can, while doing Alt AE only, you can just simply select general. If you choose general for everything, now it will be a number format. Since this is a date, this cell is in date format. So that's why this one is reading as a 1/11/1900. If I change it back to general, it will show me 11. If I change it back to number, it will show me 11.000. So depending on the format of that particular cell, numbers and dates will be interchanged. If I change it to date format for this cell, it will give me the date of that particular number, 29. So you have to be specific whether it's a number or date. Similarly, you can choose fixed width as well. delimited you have seen, it should be something specific delimiter, right? Fixed bit means there's no delimiter. You just want it at any specific place. For example, I want it between 1 or between 2. Here, anywhere I want, I can just keep it. But it should be consistent across all the fields. When I say consistent, the first one, you want to separate it at position number 1. Second line, you want to split it at position number 3. It won't work. If you have 10 lines, everything it will split at position number 1. If you have if you want to split at position number 5, it will split at position number 5 for everything. So that's why it's called as fixed width. So you can just select anything randomly and just click on, you just need to double tap or tap to separate that. If you click double tap, it will be gone. If you click once, it will be splitting it. So again, you will see all the options, whether you want to see it as general, text, or date format, and just click on finish. So it will give me all the options. If I change it back to general for all, you will see the exact number. 1, 4, 5, 3, 2, 0, 20, 24, like that, it will give me the numbers. Fine. And next formula will be trim and clean. Trim is an option used to beautification formulas, you can say, or as the name says, it just cleans the cell or trims the cell. If you have any unnecessary spaces or anything, trim formula will be used to remove that unnecessary spaces. You just need to click trim and select the cell. Here, if you see, there are spaces at the beginning, spaces in the middle. Ideally, one space is sufficient between two words, right? If you have any unnecessary spaces, this formula can be used to remove it. It will just keep one space and remove everything else. And between this and this, do you see any difference? If you say, if you see with normalize, you will say no, there's no difference, it's same. But Excel says both are different. That's why it says false. This cell is not equal to this cell. The reason being, there are extra spaces at the end which you cannot see. So again, trim will remove that extra spaces and it will give you only the desired result. And similarly, clean. For example, there are some non-printable characters in your text which you don't want to see. In that cases, you can just click clean and just select the cell. That's it. Non-printable characters are gone, but still the extra spaces will be there. Here you can see two spaces and here they have extra spaces. That's extra spaces will be still there. Only the non-printable characters will be gone. So if you want, for example, you got some report from some tool, which is like old tool, and the data is so messy, for example, some bank report or something, and you can use this both the options together, clean plus trim, and you can just get a desired perfect output, which you can start working on. So clean and trim will work in that way. Just remember, trim is for unnecessary spaces, clean is for unprintable characters. That's the difference. And next we have conditional formatting. What does conditional formatting do? It's not like one thing it can do, it is like multiple things. It can be used for text, numbers, dates, anything. And here you can see in the home screen, conditional formatting. The shortcut will be Alt H L. Alt. The moment I click on Alt H L. Yeah, if you see, there are a lot of options available in conditional formatting. The major thing which people use is highlighting the duplicate values. But apart from that, there are many options available. For example, it says greater than, less than, right? So it's a number formula. So let's take some numbers as an example. This is the numbers. Highlight cell rules greater than. If I say highlight cell rules greater than 40, in the selected range, whatever is greater than 40, it'll highlight. If I say 20, it'll highlight. You can choose the format, whatever highlight you want to have. Usually the default will be this red highlight. And if you want to change it, you can update here. Similarly, you have options to less than, between 15 and 45. Some numbers, if you want to highlight it like that, you can do. And you have the options text. So let's go to text and highlight text that contains For example, I just want to highlight wherever it's having Grandhi. Wherever it's having Grandhi, it'll just highlight that. And a date, for example, here we have a date. Highlight something with a date occurring, yesterday's date, today's date, tomorrow. If you have deadline file and if you want to highlight in the last 7 days what we have, or next week what we have, next month what we have, you can choose that. And it will highlight only those particular cells for easy identification for purposes. You don't need to do one by one manually. You can just use these formulas. And the last one is the duplicate values. Wherever you have a duplicate, it will just highlight. For example, this highlight cells duplicates. Wherever it's a duplicate, it will be highlighted, so you can remove that easily. And there are top bottom rules. Top bottom rules again will work on numbers. So top bottom rules, top 10%. Sorry, top 10 items. If you want to highlight the top 10, you have a list of 1,000 and you want to find out what is the top 10. What is the top 10 percentage? Top 10 items and top 10 percentage, or bottom 10 percentage, above average or below average. If you want these kind of conditions, it will be very easy using this conditional formatting. And data bars. For example, you want to represent it in a graphical way or some pictorial representation you want to give. So you can use this data bars, or you can use this color scales, or you have these icons, up, down, or traffic symbol kind of, or indicators, or shapes, bars, pie charts, anything you want to choose, you have many options available. And if you want to create a new rule on your own, we have that option as well. For example, format only cells. Maybe here I'll say between 10 to 20. I'm just creating format only cells that contain values in between this. And I can choose my own formatting, how you want to see. I want it bold, that's it. And it's bold. These two are highlighted because of this. Any new rule I can just edit. If you know how, what kind of rule you want, and I mean, it depends on mostly on the situations. If you have new situations coming in, you can just edit new formulas also. And if you want, like, many rules are there. With conditional formatting, the disadvantage is the moment you keep on editing new rules, the workbook will become bulky. There are, if you have duplicates, remove duplicates, or if you're highlighting, this will take a lot of space in the backend. So the file will become bulky and you will be taking a lot of time to do changes if it's a big file. So you want to remove the conditional formatting, but where to start? How you can remove that? You can remove either from selected cells, for example, this, or you can remove from the entire sheet. So this options is available. So once you do this, the conditional formatting is gone and your file will be less storage file. And you can manage rules also. If you want to see how many rules you have created, you can just create new rule or edit the existing one or delete or duplicate all the options you have. In the worksheet, if you have multiple rules, you will be all the rules will be shown over here. Like you can choose the which sheet you want to see, or you want to work entire worksheet or the current selection only. You have all the options available in this manage rules. So this is for the conditional formatting. So from here on, mostly it will be like number based formulas. But if is a formula which works for both numbers and text. If is a conditional formula. Conditional formula, when I say if this particular condition is matching, give me this output or give me that output if it doesn't match. So for example, I'm saying here I have Ravi. So I'm saying Ravi and Teja, right? Two names are there. Like for example, you have a 200 list of data also, it works in the same way. I'm saying if this particular cell equals Ravi, give me true. If not, give me false. If this particular cell equals Ravi, give me true. Even though true is a text, I'm not giving any double quotations for that. The reason being true and false act as like a binary, 0 and 1. So you don't need to give any double quotations if it is a true or false. But if it is any other text, you have to give double quotations. If this is equal to Ravi, it's giving true or false. I can just copy and paste. Here it's not is equal to Ravi, so it's giving false. If you have next formula also, it will give me false because it is a number and it's not a text. So obviously it won't, it can be Ravi, right? Similarly, it can give for numbers as well. If it is equal to this, true or false. If it is greater than this or less than this, or any formulas, whatever you want to give, you can use if condition. This is a very powerful formula in Excel, and if you know this, many things can be solved easily. To classify, like to bucket things. For example, if the due date is 0 to 30, give me the bucketing as 0 to 30 days. If the due date is between 30 to 60 days, give the bucketing as 30 to 60 days. All these formulas, it's like if condition, right? If it is between this, give me this. If it is between this, give me this. So if formula is very powerful in Excel. And if you are combining multiple ifs, they call it as nested if. So for example, here I'm saying if logical test is this is equal to, I'll give it here, if is less than 30, give me 0 to 30. I'm saying if it is less than 30 days, give me 0 to 30. Again, I'm giving if. I'm saying if is less than 60, give me 31 to 60. Again, I'm giving if is less than 90, give me 61 to 90. I'm closing bracket number 1 for this if, bracket number 2 for this if. You can see the highlights also, right? This is red, this is red, this is blue, this is blue. So you can understand this bracket is related to this if. So there's one more if, so you have to close one more bracket. That's why I said closing brackets is very important, and keeping commas, closing brackets, everything is important. If you don't miss anything, the formula won't work. So here it's bit less than 30, so I'm getting as this, and I haven't defined anything if it is greater than 90 days, right? So let's put 90 plus. It will give me 90 plus. Greater than 9, less than 90 I had defined earlier. I haven't defined greater than 90, so I just put it as 90 plus. So if it is 90 plus, it will give me this. If I change it, 31 to 60. So this is a use of if formula. It's a conditional based formula. It can be used for anything. Okay. And next is a simple sum formula. Just like our max basics, these are like sum, average, product, the basic formulas which we have. How it works is equal to sum. You can choose an array or you can choose individual cells. Comma this, you can put any number of cells or you can just select an array. Okay. Here I have choose a individual cells, here I choose array. Array means a series of cells, that's it. And similarly, the basic thing is equal to this plus this plus this. You can use the normal plus symbol as well instead of going with sum formula. Anything works. And the shortcut key for sum is alt equal to. Alt equal to will give you the shortcut. You don't need to type any formula. It will automatically give you the formula. Similarly, average. Very basic formula is equal to average. You can select either the range or you can select individual cells. Is equal to average is the formula. And product, again same basic formula, is equal to product. You can select either a range or array, and you can choose the product symbol as well instead of writing a formula. Anything works in the same way. This will be like manual thing. Formula will be easier thing. That's it. That's the only difference. If it is like 1 or 2 cells, you can just simply use this, or if it's more, you can just select formula depending on the situation. And next option is the subtotal. Subtotal means whenever there's a filtered data, That's the reason I had applied filters over here. Whenever there's a filtered data, you want to know the total for the filtered one. So total is 100, but I want to know total for the filtered data, for example, this case only. It will be 80, right? How I will be knowing that? If I give sum, I'll be getting, for example, if I give sum over here, even if I filter the data, it will still show 100 because sum is not having any impact on the filter, whereas subtotal will change based on the filters you apply. This is the total for what you are seeing, 80. So subtotal is that formula. And the shortcut key for subtotal is same as sum. Alt equal to. Alt equal to is the same shortcut for sum and subtotal. How you can differentiate that? If the data is not filtered and if you click alt equal to, you'll get sum as a default thing. If you filter it and then click alt equal to, you'll get subtotal as a default thing. So it depends on whether the data is filtered or not. Sum and subtotal will change. And in subtotal, there is an additional condition. Till now, like sum product average, it's only one condition, right? But here you have additional condition. What is that additional condition? You can choose subtotal. Sum is a basic thing which you're adding it. But instead of adding it, you can calculate the average. You can count the number of cells. Count the number of cells means, okay, let me first filter. So it will be, I'm giving count. Even though this is the range of 4 cells, I have filtered only for 3. So I'm getting 3. If I remove one more, I'll be getting only 2. It's a count of this number of cells which is filtered. Similarly, instead of count, you have options like average, count A, minimum, maximum, product, standard deviation, sum, variance, average. Again, the same thing, average, count, minimum, maximum, product. So you can choose any of the options available. You want to know the maximum number in this selected cell. 4. Maximum is 4. Minimum will be 10. So subtotal is not only for the adding up things. You can choose all these options also in subtotal. The sum if and sum product. So these are like adding two formulas. Earlier I have shown nested if, right? Here it's a nested if. We are adding the formulas ourselves depending on the requirement. But here Excel itself has added two formulas, which is sum if. Sum the cells if this condition is meeting. Sum the cells if this condition is not meeting, like that. So I have some marks. Ravi 10, Teja 20, Ravi 30, Teja 40, like this. I want to know the total of Ravi. 10 plus 30, 40 is what I want to know. So how I will do that is equal to sum if range where you want to select Ravi. I can select Ravi from this particular range, right? The condition has to meet in this particular range. So I'm giving this range and I'm typing Ravi, or you can just select the cell as well. Anything works. And some range. If this condition is meeting, I want to add this range. So if Ravi is available in this, add up this, which gives me 40. Similarly, I can select, instead of Ravi, I can select this particular Ravi or Teja, whatever cell you want to select, you can just select it. Here I have given for Teja, so this will be 20 plus 40. So here you can see all the, this blue color is showing over here. If you can observe it, the colors are like very light, but if you can observe, this blue color area is this purple color is this, and this A20 red color is this. Every cell, it will show which color you are choosing and where that particular range is sitting. So you can easily identify even if it's a big formula based on the colors, color codings. And this is not a case sensitive. So even if you give like uppercase, whereas here it's like proper case, it will still work. It's not a case sensitive formula. And there's a one more formula which is sum if yes. Here we have only one condition. A sum if yes is for multiple conditions, which I'm going to discuss later on. Now I'm not discussing that because that will be little complex than this. Okay, and the next formula we had is sum product. Just imagine like this is a quantity and this is the pricing of a product. You want to know how much is the total for all this. This is the same thing which I explained in the questionnaire initially when I created a couple of polls earlier. This is the same thing which we explained there. Sum product. Here we are multiplying first 10 into 550, 20 into 360, 25 into 7, 175. We are multiplying first and then we are adding up the total. Instead of doing this twice, Excel has given a formula, sum product. So just need to click on sum product, select the first array, select the second array. So what it will do, 10 into 5, 20 into 3, 25 into 7, 10 into 4, and then it will add everything and give the output. If you want, you can just see normally also 10 into 5, add it, you will get 325. Instead of doing all these steps, you can just use simple formula, sum product. It's just a combination of product and sum. The next formula we had is minimum. If you want to know minimum and maximum of any particular or range of cells you have, you can use minimum and maximum. You can either select an array or you can select an one or two cells, and it works for both the ways. You can choose one or two cells as well. And the moment I type minimum, you can see many other formulas also. Min A, min ifs. These formulas are also available, which I'll be discussing later on again. Since it's a basic session, I'm not going to cover all the formulas here. And similarly, max. You will see a lot of formulas available, max A, max ifs. But I'm going to cover only max for the moment. You can select either a range or array, a combination of both also. I selected an array here and I'm selecting a cell. I have to close the bracket, sorry. I have closed it here. I should close it here. I can select any combination possible. Arrays, cells, combination of both, it works anyway. Okay. And the next formula is the transpose formula. Transpose formula, what does it do? It just converts rows to columns and columns to rows, vice versa, anything. So we have a formula for transpose, or in paste special also we have an option, transpose. Paste special I have mentioned you earlier, Control Alt B. We have an option to transpose there itself. So you can choose either of the option depending on your requirement. So now I have a range like this. So I'm just selecting transpose. I'm selecting an array and I'm giving transpose. So 10, 20, 25, which is in this rows, it will be converted like this, 10, 20, 25 in the columns. I'm transposing from rows to columns. So similarly, you can use Control C, copy and paste special, transpose. It will give you the same output. But here, when the paste special is used, the format which is over here, it will be overwritten over here. Earlier, if you see, it doesn't have any color combination, right? But when I paste it, I just paste it, it will give you the color combination which is from the base cells. If you don't want that color combination, you just need to select formulas or just values, and then it won't give you the output, the format. It will just give the values. Let's rush a bit for last two formulas and we can close the session. VLOOKUP is the next formula. VLOOKUP is just a For example, you have data like this. You have mark sheet or you have some scorecard, anything, any data, like you have two or three more tables and you want to look for particular data. For example, Ravi or Grandhi or Teja, any number you want to look for, you can use VLOOKUP. But the challenge with VLOOKUP is it only works from left to right, like this. If Ravi is available in this, you can look for data on the right side, but you cannot look for data on the left side. For example, 10 is available. I can look for row C onwards. I cannot look for row A because my base data is this, for example. So is equal to VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value you are trying to search for? I am trying to search for Ravi. Where you are trying to search? Table array. In this table array, I am trying to search. Which column you want to search? This is a column number for table array. In this table, which column? It's not the table for the Excel. It's the column for the selected array. So if you, for example, if you choose this, for example, if you choose this B, C, D, in this, column B will be the first row, column C is the second row, column D is the third row. Even in the Excel, B is the second. In this table, B is the first. So you have to be specific from the table array point of view. We look up Ravi in this table, and my requirement is the second row. So I'm just selecting second and approximate or exact match. This is an optional field, so I'm just ignoring for the moment. It will give me the output. If the output is not available, for example, if I search for Ravi Teja, which is not available, it will give me an error. And this works, as I said, like it works from left to right, not from other way. For example, here if you see, there are two Ravis, Ravi 10, Ravi 40, but still I'm getting only 10. I'm not getting 40. That's again a limitation in the VLOOKUP, which is overcome in this XLOOKUP. All these limitations which I'm referring over here, all of them has overcome in this XLOOKUP, which is an advanced version of VLOOKUP. Okay, so there's one more advantage of XLOOKUP. For example, lookup value. I'm looking for something like 10, and this is my range. Can you see 10 anywhere in this range? No, right? So I'm saying this is my lookup value and column index is 2. Instead of giving approximate exact match, I'm giving approximate match. Approximately, if this 10 is available, approximately give me this output. So I'm selecting true. If I choose 10, it's giving me 100. If I choose, for example, like 150, it will give me the nearest number to 150 will be 100 as per Excel. So that's giving the nearest range possible. So earlier in nested if, we have seen this filtering, bucketing, right? If it is like 90, 0 to 30 days, give me 30. If it is 31 to 60, similarly, using VLOOKUP also you can get that. You just need to design this for whatever is requirement, you just need to design it. And once you design it, you just give approximate match and it will automatically work. Yes, for VLOOKUP to work, always in the table, the first column should have the requirement. So where I am referring, the first column should have the number, whether it's approximate match or exact match, first column should have in the table, not in the Excel. So here comes the last formula. This is not a basic formula for sure. I just want to cover it because VLOOKUP has a lot of limitations and XLOOKUP is like an advanced version. So I want to take it up together and is equal to XLOOKUP. Here, if you see, there are a lot of options available. In VLOOKUP, it's only like 3, 4. But here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 parameters are available. So it helps you in getting the better results. So lookup value is same. Lookup value, for example, Ravi. I want to look for Ravi. And here it's a table array, if you remember. But here they split it into two, lookup array and return array. So for example, let's do it other way. I want to look for 10. in this lookup array, in this should be my output. I want to look for 10 in this and give me output of column A. But whereas in VLOOKUP, I have to do only this way, right? A, B, C, D. But here I can do any way, from B to A or B to E, anything I can do. It won't work. It shouldn't be like left to right. It can be any way. We have an option to, if not found, what can be the output? I am not ignoring for the moment. Match mode, whether you want exact match or you want next smaller item or next larger item, or if you want wild character match, you want to search first to last or last to first, because here I said there are two Ravis, but it's always picking the first one. So here I can search from last to first also. And I can also sort it ascending order or descending order and then search. So you have a lot of options available in XLOOKUP. I'm just giving it straight away simple thing. So next option is equal to XLOOKUP Ravi. I'm looking for this data and I want this output. If not found, I just found need not available. I'm just ignoring others because RAVI, I just misspelled it. So I'm saying if it's not available, I can just need not available. Here, even if it's not available, it will just show NA, which is like not readable, right? But this can be anything. If you want to say like GST number not available, PAN number not available, anything if you want to edit, you can customize that. Yeah. And here we are seeing Ravi, lookup array will be this. And return array will be this. And if not found, I'm ignoring. Instead of searching from first to last, I'm searching last to first. So instead of getting 10, I should get 40 as my output. So I'm getting 40 because it's searching from last to first. Yes, XLOOKUP we can search anyways. Anything is possible in XLOOKUP. And if you want to have multiple outputs, for example, XLOOKUP 0,